Hello. The start of this video, or what led up to it, is interesting because I experienced something like maybe like an hour ago or something like that, and then all the time in between what sparked the thought to make this video, there was a lot of different things that were happening, and I don't know. And also, like, I'm on a little bit of like a time constraint in a way for this video, and I don't know. It's interesting because there's a lot of factors that may have been pushing aside of me of like, just wait till the next day or whatnot. Like, this one's not going to be perfect because everything's not like perfect, you know. But there's also a small part of me is like, maybe that's why you should record or should speak. But you know, we'll see about that, I guess. Anyway, I guess what sparked, I guess, this video in particular is I listened to a song that someone had showed me like years ago, maybe like 2 years ago. And this is a person that I don't regularly see anymore or whatnot. Like, they're just not really active at all in my life. And the other day I thought about the song, and then today I had like listened to that song, and such an interesting feeling. Mainly just like nostalgia, right? Like, it kind of like puts you in another place. It puts you like back in time. But what was odd, and the thing that really made me want to kind of speak, was the fact that that nostalgic feeling, it came with so much like fear or like discomfort, which is so odd, right? Like, usually when you're being nostalgic or whatnot, it's like super comfortable, super cozy. But for me, it was, I don't know, just kind of like scary, and invoked this, I don't know if dread is the right word, but like, yeah, like just a I don't know, definitely wasn't like a happy feeling for sure. And I just thought it was interesting. One of the reasons being, you know, kind of what I had stated a little bit before, like, I feel like that's not usual for, at least I don't think. I think usually when people think of nostalgia, they think of like happy, right? Like cozy, comfortable. At least that's what I think. But yeah, it's like this like fear, and I think it was the fear of time passing. I think that was the main thing. You know, it was only like a couple years, right? Or something like that. Like 2 years. But even, you know, even with that, I would say like it's not super duper long time. I mean, it's a decent amount of time, but like, it's definitely long, but I don't know, it's it was interesting, it was weird. And I feel like I've gotten this feeling a lot of times, or many times. where, you know, a song that usually it's music. I feel like it's always music. I go back and listen to old songs, and I feel like the usual thing. There's other things too. It could be smells, it could be sounds, it could be usually it's like something with the senses. But yeah, like it was just, yeah, it's just something that happens a good bit. Or not a good bit, but like it happens, you know, happens a decent bit. But yeah, it was interesting. And like I said, definitely wasn't like a good feeling, right? It was very just, yeah, like just super sad that time's passing, you know. And yeah, I'll listen to, you know, music or songs. Sometimes I'll just go kind of in a deep dive on older songs, and I'll hear older songs. And yeah, when I hear songs of when I was like super duper young, it's like, or yeah, like listen to, or maybe listen to or watch videos or look at pictures, old videos, things that I maybe created. Just hits you like in the gut, or in the chest, or I don't know, just like somewhere in that localized region. It's so funny because when I began this video, I like started it saying like, you know, it doesn't feel like I should be like recording this video, or things don't seem all the things don't seem perfect. And I'm even noticing like my speech pattern. It's like I'm like riled up or whatnot. I'm not like calm. That's just an observation. But yeah. And I'm sure, I don't think that, you know, what I'm feeling with like looking at old memories and such, I don't think that that's like super foreign. Like I think that other people definitely feel that for sure and can speak on that. But yeah, it's definitely happened a good bit. And man, it hits like a truck. Absolutely hits you like a truck. At least for me. Like it's never like a, oh, you know, like some time has passed or whatever. Like it just like, it's like this, it almost causes like a not like a breakdown or anything, but it's just usually super impactful. Like it makes me instantly start reflecting on my life. Instantly. Like if there's anything that invokes that like nostalgic feeling, or that like, oh my gosh, time has passed, you know, something like that, I instantly like start like hyper evaluating like my life and where I'm at, and comparing it to the past, I guess, or something along those lines. But yeah. And I'm like struggling to maybe like delve into why that might be. I think it's just scary to, I mean, I think deep down, like, you know that like time is finite, right? You know that time is finite, and when these moments, at least when these moments hit me, it's like a realization, like, dang, that time is gone. You know, that time in my life is just gone. Which I don't think is super healthy to dwell on, right? Because as I'm sure, you know, anyone who's listening, as I'm sure you've heard, like, you know, you want to live in the present, right? You don't want to linger on the past. You don't want to linger on the future, because those just invoke like worry, or regret, or like, I don't know, just like a lot of negative stuff. But you know, it definitely happens to me. And it's so interesting because I don't worry so much about the future for some reason. And it's not like I worry about the past per se, but I just like, I feel like, you know, if I'm ever to dwell on anything, it's like, man, look at like this time that's passed, or I don't know. Also, I think like nostalgia takes you back to like, you know, different times in your life, and like different perspectives that you had. Like 2 years ago, I was probably more naive than I am currently. And, you know, thinking back on your older self in a way is super interesting. Yeah. But I just felt compelled to like kind of speak on it, you know, just kind of speak it, get the thoughts out about like feeling that, I guess, because it was super impactful. And like I said, I mean, it happens a decent amount of times. Like I feel like it's semi-regular that, you know, something will like trigger you know, that sort of feeling. And yeah, it's like once that feeling is triggered, you're like, you're in it, and you're just, your mind starts like thinking and going, and it's like a whole sequence that happens. I think another thing is like watching like as you get older, like watching people that you know get older, could be family, could be friends, like that definitely is, I think, within that realm. Like you're like, dang, like it's that time is passing, right? It's that finite thought that comes back. It's like, yeah, at least for me, it's incredibly impactful. Like it's like, yeah, like it's happening right now. Like I can feel it in my chest. It's wild. Yeah, but yeah, I think it's good though. I think it's good that it does occur though. I think it helps like put kind of things into perspective. It's like a little reset. Honestly, that's a super good way to kind of explain it. It's almost like I get like this mental reset whenever some, you know, it's like I can almost envision it in like a cartoon or something like that. You know, you hear something or smell something or something like that, and the person's eyes get really wide, and the camera like zooms into their head or something like that. Or, you know what I mean? They have this surprised look on their face. Like that's exactly, to a degree, not exactly. That's definitely an exaggeration of it, but you kind of like, that's kind of like how it is though. It's a super shocking thing. But yeah, I think that the biggest part of it is like, and where that maybe like fear or dread, that sense of dread maybe comes in, or that like sinking feeling maybe in your chest. It's that you're like, wow, time is passing. You know what I mean? And it's such a strange thing. Like, why? What's the maybe there's, I'm sure there's like some sort of like hyper analyzed evolutionary reason for that, possibly, right? There might be some like crazy reasoning as to why that may happen, why that type of a thought triggers that sort of like response in you or whatnot. Yeah. It's crazy. But like I said, I think it does like reinforce to like really enjoy where you're at now. I think that's sort of like where I was getting at with why it's a good thing. Like it helps reinforce, like, you know, wherever you're at in life now, like really try to, and you know, it's so hard to avoid like cliche stuff, but yeah, like if you're listening to this right now, like really try to just enjoy where you're at. You know what I mean? Like, because 5 years down the line, you're going to be looking back on this and thinking like, wow, like why did this go by so fast? Or you know what I mean? Like you're going to be having those thoughts. So yeah, I just encourage you to try and really enjoy and make the most of like the now, the present. And it doesn't matter, like, you know, like maybe you're already in a position where you're looking back, maybe you have that dread, all time's passing. That doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it. Like you can still take the time that is the present right now and like make the most of that. And you know, that's definitely an intentional effort. You know, I say it like it's like this like easy thing to do, but it's definitely not. Like it will take intention and effort to really, you know, be mindful about like, wow, like, you know, this is the present. Like it's so hard to put into words. But yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty much it. And feels like that, you know, feels like this video went by very fast. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. It was interesting though, and I mentioned it like kind of in the middle and the very beginning of like, I didn't really feel like, I didn't really even want to record. I was like, my mindset's not where it needs to be, or, you know, I'm on a time crunch. I don't really, I shouldn't, I guess, or like maybe it's gonna be bad quality, you know, something like that. But hopefully me saying that, you know, hopefully if you, I would just encourage, like, if you're in that situation where that's happening, like for me, like that happened, right? And that happened, and I definitely had a thought of like, let's just like put it off, do it later. But a part of me was like, well, why? Maybe like in a way it could like be more of a reason to try to get your thoughts out if you don't feel like right now is like the best time, I guess. But yeah, I don't mean to maybe get on like another tangent, but I'll probably go ahead and end the video off here. Yeah, I just had that like feeling that occurred to me and I wanted to speak on that. So hopefully, you know, some people can relate to that. But yeah, other than that, I'll go ahead and head out later.